Hello and welcome to the most hated show in the black corner of the internet. I'm your host, the whiteologist, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and this is Black Minds News. This channel is to report, relate, unveil, decode, transmit, spread the news, whether it's by news, video, websites, or quotes from publications. As I articulate these information, I accept the creator of the universe, be here, heart, soul, mind, and spirit. Because why? The truth don't need no partner. As a descendant of the greatest people who created this land that you call the United States, we, the historical foundation blacks of this nation, bloodline ties us and lineage to those who created that, we who call ourselves BADOS, Black American Descendant of Slaves. Others say Black African Descendant of Slaves. Others say ADOS, American Descendant of Slaves. We, the family genealogy tied to that, we give honor to our ancestors. And you know what my motto is? I'm never going to tell you what I heard. I'm only going to tell you what I know. Well, today's August. Countdown, y'all, back to the live. And we're going over to Detroit. Maybe you heard this story, maybe you didn't hear this story. But if you own, let's say, a store, right? And people were in there, you know, let's say a young people are in there, right? And they're in there, let's say shoplifting, right? You as an employee, a place that you don't own, that you punch a clock, what would it take for you to take it to the level of threatening not just the life of the individual that might be, you know, shoplifting, but putting other people in danger with your recklessness? Well, let's see what happened in this story. And stay tuned as Black Minds News relates this story. Stay tuned. Hey, how's y'all doing? Welcome to Black Minds News. This is your host, Mr. Blows Your Minds, and today's date is August 1st, 2019. First and foremost, I want to say what's good to subscribers, new and old. What's good, family? Thank you for your participation by clicking on and viewing the video. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for as we try to get ourselves out of the corner, but they're suppressing once again. But it's all right. Passerbys, if you should happen to just pass by, this is the most hated show in the internet. Just had an anniversary on July 26th, made 7 years. But again, if you look at our views and our subscribership, you would say you got to be brand new. Oh no. Been in the game for a minute. Took a lot of my views, but it's all right. But I'm glad that you somehow stumbled over and found this show. Go across the library, see something in there. But if something should happen to make you feel some kind of way, well, you know the motto of the show is, right? The motto of the show is, I ain't going to tell you what I heard. I'm only going to tell you what I know. And the truth don't need no partner. Now, let's get into this story here, right? So, as I said in the intro at the beginning of this broadcast here, again, going to Detroit. And I'm going to take you to a situation that something had happened a couple days ago, about a week ago. And, You may have heard, may not have heard it, but again, the seriousness of the situation, but the pettiness of what took place is what you have to kind of put on the scale. Now, some people are going to see it in one way, and others are going to see it in another way. But again, this is Black Minds News. We're going to interpret the way that Black Minds News see it. And again, let you see this first, and then we'll come back after that. It's a little series because I'm going to give you everything that is out there for it, right? So first, I'm going to give you this part here. And let's see this, and we should be right back.
Okay, Paula, and shocking video of an argument between two men and a gas station clerk that led to that clerk firing a shot. Good to have you with us at 5 tonight. That clerk is in police custody, and we're getting a look at two videos showing how this all escalated.
It's happened around 10:30 last night at the Shell station on West Warren, just off of the Southfield on Detroit's west side. One of the men stealing bags of chips. The other appears to hold the door open so they aren't locked in by the clerk.
Yeah, but as Jason Colthorpe reports, the problems between these men began days earlier.
When Detroit police got on the scene here last night around 10:30, they determined that somebody was stealing a bunch of chips, and the clerk started shooting, hitting someone not involved in the crime. But as the surveillance video you're about to see shows, it was a much different story. Two men inside the Shell gas station last night arguing with the clerk just before one of the men walks out without paying for several bags of chips. And then the clerk fires a shot, hitting the man holding the door. But this story begins 48 hours earlier. This is surveillance from July 21st. Same time, same two men, but with at least three others. Again, the man who gets shot 2 days later, seen here shouting at the clerk as he holds the door. And that time, several men walked out without paying for items. That encounter led to last night, where according to other employees, those men threatened to shoot the clerk when he came outside. All three were clearly angry as they shouted at each other, nose to nose, with just the protective glass between them. And moments later, they try to leave. The clerk comes around the corner, fires that one shot that shatters the glass, and the victim goes down, hit in the chest. And then both of the men run off. People in the neighborhood know the clerk by the nickname Southwest and say he'd never shoot someone for no reason.
No, this guy's a good guy. Believe it or not, he's a good guy, man. And everybody in this neighborhood that lives in this neighborhood knows that.
Someone stealing a bag of chips does not warrant you firing a weapon. That's not acceptable ever.
Yeah, even if the clerk was threatened, the chief says it's unacceptable for violence in that situation. That's why the clerk is in custody. A detective was on his way to the hospital to interview the victim, who is in serious condition right now. Neither he nor the chip thief are under arrest. More to come on this. Kim?
All right, so chip thief, huh? Really? All right, so we see that this, again, is taken in Detroit. Looks like it's to be a gas station, but in particular, it's a Shell gas station, right? So we have the store attendant named Safa Martzak. I didn't say that again. Safa Martzak. He's about 27 years old. And as you've seen in the video there, it looked like Jamal Mobley seemed to be having an argument with him, right? That's the individual that you've seen that's at the counter. And maybe this is some kind of bait and switch, right? We had to maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe there was a real legitimate argument between the two. And whatever the argument was that originated in front of him, somehow we see the next clip of the video, which is he go back to the back of the store and he seemed to be having several bags of potato chips, right? And as he's being kind of occupied with other customers, he must have kept his eye on my man. Again, we don't know what that whole situation is. It's kind of like going back to when you think of the Michael Brown situation, right? Remember what the Michael Brown situation was? Michael Brown came in there and, he had a partner with him. Matter of fact, they was going to go smoke some bud, right? Some weed. How y'all call it that, right? And so he went in there, supposedly get some papers, right? Either going to get a blunt, some paper, one of the two. And the whole ordeal takes place. Now, later on, all the evidence that started to fall out was that you see him take out a bag and throw it on the table, and you see that he has two other individuals with him at the store. And what ended up happening was they start smelling it. So I'm assuming that was weed, right? That's weed. Well, Mr. Blood, what does this got to do with, again, listen to what I'm telling you here again, right? I'm trying to make an assessment of the situation, right? Wasn't there, but we have to try to fill in the blanks. And then later on, maybe it's going to fall out. Then we'll see, were you right, Mr. Blood, wrong? What was you wrong? I ain't going to tell you what I heard. I'm going to tell you what I know, right? So in that situation, somehow, what Michael Brown wanted to do was to get whatever he was supposed to get, right? And in exchange for the bag that he gave. Now, according to when they showed that video, if you can go back and find that video, you never see him get that back. He goes to the counter. They claim he got it back, but I didn't actually see him get it. And I looked and I studied it and I didn't see that. So when Dorian Johnson and him comes the next day, because that video that I'm talking about is the day before, and he comes the next day to get the cigarillos or the blunts, it is already for what he had gave the night before, is what I'm assuming, right? So I'm just saying maybe this situation has some similarities to it. Maybe bruh, because he's 27, right? And Jamil Mobley, I don't know how old he is, but I know a dude they saying who his brother is. I know how old he is. So they in their 20s. I'm going to just say everybody's in their 20s, right? Mid-20s, late 20s. And so what was the argument about, right? Maybe it had something to do with something again, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you grabbing that kind of bag of chips, you understand? And you gonna grab that kind of bags like that? So I'm just saying maybe there was a transaction, maybe you didn't fulfill your economical obligation, and somehow my man said, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and G these bags right quick, right? So the deal is to make sure that the door can't close. So my man, again, because they got them power locks now, right? So, you know, keep the door open. So when I hit the goods, I'm up and I'm a dip, right? Okay, so my man kind of probably know how that's going down. But the problem here is this. It's about 10:30 at night, according to what they're saying, right? And so, again, this is at the 17,000 block of West Warren Avenue. And, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you got all these goodies sitting in the middle, you know, in the hood. You know, the gas stations is one of them you run out when you need something, want some quick stuff, want some little, you know, chips and, you know, something to drink, a hot dog, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's there, the kind of convenience, right? And so if you sitting like that in the middle with a lot of people who ain't got nothing, most likely I think you ought to know that's going to be kind of part of the protocols of your existence there. The only thing you can do is try to make it so it's a little bit harder for people to come in there and do it. But again, let's look at how this store is stocked up, right? Right. Let me show you how this store is stocked up. Now, again, I'm not condoning any, advocating for what took place here. What I'm just saying is I'm going to give you I'm going to fill in so that you see what I'm talking about. Now, you see that store is stocked up, right? I don't know what gas station you in, but that motherfucker right there, that motherfucker stocked to the T. I don't know if they just got everything today. This is a normal everyday process, but I mean, you got candy galore, pop galore. I mean, this is stacked, right? All shelves stocked and everything, suited and booted, ready to make that money. Now, if you ain't got no money and this is where you coming in and you know this, you know what I'm saying? You're in your 20s, right? You know, you struggle, ain't got no money or something like that. Somebody else got a grand deal so that maybe something like, man, we can go up here and try home and get our poo, right? We're going ahead and, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do the diverting, bait, and switch, and while y'all hit them up and let's get up out of there, right? So they're not thinking that, again, that it's going to be something that could be detrimental. It's shoplifting. It's petty. Again, I think there's a certain amount of money that you have to go when it becomes, you know, over $1,000, so forth. Again, we're not condoning the fact, but again, this is a situation that done took place. And so what we see is that at this particular time that is taking place, there's a lot of people in the store. It's just him and a couple other people. There's other people there, right? And so this in itself shows the negligence of the store clerk, right? As you see right there, you see the circle is showing the arm coming out where he just out from the door part, you see I got it lined up 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 people right there. There was actually another person from another camera view that was kind of even closer to him, was ducked right as he shot, right? Everybody right there, them 4 right there, they ducked and kind of cowered over into the corner like, don't shoot me. I ain't stealing. You understand? But again, did it merit for him to do what he did? Right? Again, yes, they might be taking stuff. And you know what I'm saying? You feeling some kind of way. Because again, let me tell you something. Mr. Brother Mine did all kinds, kind of works and stuff like that. But like I always say, when I worked and did that kind of work like that, I done worked at a gas station too before. And I always said, if a motherfucker came up in here with a gun talking about this is stick up, everybody get face down. I take it. Safe over there. You understand? Look, my life is not replaceable. That money, you catch him, whatever that may be, you deal with that. If you get some products and stuff about here, that's replaceable. I ain't replaceable. You understand? So all I'm going to do is, after the fact, I'm going to go and hit the horn and be like, 911, hey, this Blase Skippy, woo, 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 I done been hit, robbed up. You know what I'm saying? Had somebody come through, right? Here's the cameras. This what took place. This is what I think I can remember, if that's what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? That whole business. I ain't going to take it personal like that because, again, you got to remember, you got to come back there tomorrow. The next day, right? So everybody know where you work at. You understand? So you don't take it personal like that because, again, this is shell. This got money, man. And the way that a store operates, from my understanding, and somebody could tell me if I'm wrong, that these products that are put in the store is kind of like they pay you to put their stuff on the shelf, and then you get some kind of percentage of the stuff that they sell, right? So there's times of there's damaged goods, stolen goods, you know what I'm saying? That's just got to charge it to the game, all right? But my man still kind of young, and again, he's influenced by seeing a lot of shit that coming on these TV, on YouTube, and a lot of the videos where it just seems like it's a free kill a nigga season. You understand? We can shoot niggas, it's all good, and I get off with it because I ain't thinking about that. Because the first thing should be the minute I pull this motherfucking trigger, man, everything better be intact. Is this shit on it, or is it because I'm trying to make a stance towards them that I ain't no punk? You know what I'm saying? I ain't no punk to be coming in here trying to punk me. You understand? We understand that. We feel that. But what I'm saying is, there was too many people in the vicinity that, again, it went wrong. And it still went wrong, even if you aiming within that close proximity that you couldn't even hit your target. Your target still veered off and hit somebody else, right? So I had to look at that, right? Like, damn, okay, you couldn't even do that right, okay? And so you end up hitting this, my man. You hit my man that was the one that was the doorman. You know what I'm saying? You hit the doorman. And so here was the doorman sitting out there again. Maybe could have been in cahoots. That they claimed this his brother. Now, the brother that got hit, his name is Javarlis Durham. He's 22 years old, right? He's the brother that got hit at the door. So let me show you this brother, right? This is the brother that they showed, right? When they showed him there, right? Well, let me show you him first, right? That's the brother that was at the door that got shot, right? That's the one who got shot. And so based on you miscalculating what you were doing, you're going to put yourself really in a very bad situation. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and give you the video of that, of what transpired on that particular event. Let me set it up real quick, make sure everything good. And then let me show you this once again. Check this out. Be right back. Check it out.
Begin with breaking news. A gas station has closed down before expected protest this afternoon. Those protesters are calling for the gas station to close down permanently after a clerk took aim at an alleged potato chip thief and shot the wrong man. 7 Action News reporter Simon Shaquette joins us live from Detroit's West Side, where he's spoken with the store owner. Simon?
Keenan, I'll be sharing a statement from the store owner in just a moment, but first I want to show you what it's like out here. They've taped off all the gas pumps. They have shut the front door, and you can see there is a strong police presence out here as we speak, as they are anticipating protesters showing up here shortly at this gas station at the Southfield Freeway and Warren, where that protest is expected to take place. This all surrounds the shooting by a clerk of a man who was with another person seen on video stealing potato chips. He was shot in the stomach as in temporary serious condition. The store clerk was arrested and is currently behind bars. Police have condemned the shooting. Workers here at the same time saying that they felt threatened and were actually working here in a sense of fear. The victim shot Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. is a 22-year-old man. So far, no charges have been filed. And I want to bring in an activist who's out here with me right now. If you could talk to me about the message you think that needs to get out and what the protesters were going to be saying out here.
The message is we got to stop this. Like just the impulsive behavior that happens in these kind of situations can cause death. It has before. This happened a year ago on 6 Mile in Southfield, where a gentleman lost his life, and that gas station was shut down. And for the attendant to come outside of the bulletproof glass, how are you threatening you come from behind your protection?
Okay, and also we want to read a statement. Thank you for talking with us. I want to read a statement from the owner. It says, I am thankful, first, that the young man is improving and that the shooter who was in possession of a weapon against company policy and who was immediately fired is in jail. We have been in the same location in the community for more than 30 years without incident and remain committed to Detroit and its residents. We are ready to work together to restore peace. And once again, you can see a lot of police presence out here, some protesters starting to arrive. We'll have much more on what happens out here coming up on Action News at 5 p.m. Live on Detroit's West Side, Simon Shayket, 7 Action News.
All right, thank you, Simon, for that report. We'll, of course, find out what happens later in the day and on air and online.
All right, so we see, due to the simple fact that what happened again, as the brother Tavares Jerem had been shot, and I guess I was giving you the image of what the brother looked like, right? And actually, I'm just giving the image, that's what he looked like, and then I'm going to show you something after the fact. So you see that the community said that they want to shut it down, right? They're going to protest it. Because, again, they said a year prior before, there had been an individual that the same kind of incident had happened with the same thing. They ended up shutting it down, right? And so, according, if you've seen the original, when I did the first video, it talked about that the same individual had been there back on July 21st, right? They had showed them earlier that the same individuals had been there. Now, again, if this is the neighborhood gas station and you are frequent to go in there, again, when it's summertime, you know what I'm saying, motherfucker blowing a lot of smoke, so you going back and forth getting things, drinking, pop and stuff. So to say the frequentness of to see these individuals in there, that's you can't play that. Like they just like staking out the place. This is the neighborhood store for a lot of places, right? And so they try to use that, throw that in there. Then you hear them say that he was in fear working there. Now, again, it's kind of like sometimes how we look at situations with police. They be saying, well, I'm kind of scared, but you got a gun, right? And just as the activist brother said, they said, well, nigga, you're sitting behind a goddamn bulletproof glass window, so you really surrounded and protected. You understand? Unless somebody throw a bomb or some shit up in there. But other than that shit, there's pretty much nothing that can get through there. So, but you took yourself out of the confine of your protection and put yourself in harm's way. So you can't claim now to say I'm fearful when you had protection from the whole time. And it's petty, right? It's really petty shit. And so you see that the community is coming together. See, and this is what a lot of people are not liking. Again, this is what black media is all about. Black media is to keep these things in the minds, even though some people might think this is frivolous. But no, these stories are more local. These are the more stories that happen on the constant regular than if we're waiting for the what they call the viral video, the one that no, we need the locals just as well to know, again, what's going on, what is the temperature, and what seems to be some kind of wave that is going on. And so, yes, it is right for a community when this kind of happen. Now, again, two wrongs don't make it right. It don't say, again, as I've said again many times on this, and I'll keep saying it. black people don't protest when it is wrong. Because you're going to have somebody who hear this video and they're going to say, well, they were stealing. Okay, you seen a person stealing. They may have been in collusion, but if they did not have, you can only assume, and your assumption might be wrong, like you about to hear from the young brother when out of his own mouth. I might have been with somebody and they were doing something, but that don't necessarily mean that gives you the right to shoot me. I ain't had nothing to do with none of that. You understand? And so there's going to be somebody who's going to, again, assess it and always going to be in opposition to the way we see it. That's just the natural way because, again, they're always trying to protect it again because we got to always be in the negative in their eyes. Now, you see that, again, the protests, and at this particular time, the young man that has been shot, which is, again, Tavares Durham, is trying to recover. They done already took my man in, the Saafa Martzak, right? They had already took him in. He's 27. They was already charging him, right? And so what they ended up charging my man with was with assault with attempt to murder, assault to great bodily harm. They said tampering with evidence. Now I'm trying to figure out what evidence could he have been tampering with other than the video, right? The only evidence that would have been there would have been the video. So the video did seem a little dark, right? It tried to put an extra taint on it so that you couldn't really recognize, but it didn't have a great job at it. But again, did he have access to be able to get there? Is that something accessible? Because I know sometimes they have it where it's like certain people have to have keys and certain clearances to be able to get there, but it seemed like he did. And he also had obstruction of justice, right? Had obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, assault with great deadly body harm, assault to attempt to murder, and they also got him on the gun charges. So again, you know what I'm saying? He about to do some time. You understand? There's a lot of witnesses to that, and again, that went way wrong. So again, anybody who assessing that situation, thinking that this is the way how you handle it, man, you better pick up that motherfucking phone, call 911, let them do their business. This is that's small, petty. Don't get emotional. I know you saying motherfucker, then they're punking you, and you want to look like your boss, like he looking at you like you can't stop them. No. That's what you got security camera in here. This is what the telephone for. Why you think you got a bulletproof glass up in here? You understand? You understand the environment? So again, somebody who might just be in a situation look, assess that. Your life is way more important than some things that are being stolen. That stuff is replaceable. They have, institutions and things that handle that. But see, here it is. You went out there and you bucking, and that one shot from to destroy everything that you done did, you're going to be a whole different person by the time when you get up out of this situation here, right? So let me show this last part here, coming directly from the man's mouth who went through the ordeal, right? So let's hear from his mouth, and then we'll move on from there. So check this out. Be right back.
Well, tonight we are hearing from the man who was shot by a gas station clerk. Surveillance video captured what appeared to be a fight over bags of chips that led to shots being fired. Tavares Durham was just released from the hospital and spoke only with our Coco McAvoy. Coco.
I didn't know if I was going to make it or not, but I did.
Tavares Durham is grateful to be alive, just released from the hospital after being shot by a Shell gas station clerk on West Warren.
The bullet stuck in me. They couldn't get it out because it's too close to my main artery.
Durham says it all started after his brother Jamel Mobley and the clerk started arguing. Mobley tried walking out of the station with bags of chips when out of nowhere.
That guy shot. It was really more than one time. The bullet went through the glass as I was coming out the store and hit me on the side of my rib cage.
But Durham says he wasn't involved in the argument in the first place and didn't steal anything.
Yeah, I was with my brother, but brother or not, I ain't stealing. So that don't mean you can shoot me.
Or anyone else.
But the crazy part, he shouldn't even try to even shoot nobody having a bag of chips anyway.
Which is why Durham wants the clerk to face serious consequences for the shooting.
I hope he go to jail. I hope he stay in jail. You can't just pull out no gun and open fire inside a gas station just because somebody else in there acting a fool. It could have been a kid in there he could have shot.
Durham doesn't want anyone else to be put in a similar situation and hopes for justice soon. And Durham says he is planning to get an attorney and also plans to sue the gas station. But it is important to note that the gas station owner did release a statement condemning the clerk for his actions and saying it was against company policy and that he just wants peace in the neighborhood. Back to you.
And Coco, what are we hearing about as far as charges for the clerk, possible charges?
Yes, so still no word yet on possible charges, but we know that clerk is still in jail at this moment.
All right, Coco, let's stay.
Okay, but I already told you what the charges is already, right? So those are the charges that he got. But did you hear what the young brother's gonna do, right? So you know again how we said over here with Mr. Blows Your Mind and Black Minds News. Again, like I said, situations present themselves. You got people out here who seem to don't know how to control themselves when they see black people. They think it's a free, like safari-ass trip. Like I see a nigga, I can shoot a nigga. It's nigga season, right? And so I get a chance to shoot niggas. So, well, again, times is changing and the minds are changing and black folks is definitely changing. Well, song, we're not going to take it. Right? We're not gonna take it, huh? We're not taking it any damn more, right? And so, because of that, it's changing it's changing the position. Some of these people better think before they do, because see, again, two wrongs don't make it right. And again, I said black people don't protest when people are wrong. They're not protesting for the fact that the dude that stole the chips. They protested for the simple fact that my man came from behind the counter, and when he shot, he put the lives of other people in danger because of the recklessness of what he did. Did it merit for him to do that? No. There was other ways he could have resolved this issue and dealt with it, but he chose to do it in this form and fashion because, again, he's watching a lot of stuff out here and an influence about videos and police and so forth. So everybody think this is open nigga season. And so maybe he was going to be able to belt one, put one on his belt and be able to walk around and tell everybody, but now his story is going to be something entirely different. And young bruh going to get him a lawyer, so you know what that means, don't y'all?
Squeal! Squeal!
That's right. Charge it to the game, right? That's what you gotta say. Charge that shit to the game. See? All because, bruh, see, like I said, creators setting it up like this. See, it might be you gonna get the blessing. You may have to go through something to get it, because see, situations are, being created, and other people just seem to just saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? Now, if he'd have hit my man with the bag of chips, this wouldn't even be news with it. At least I don't think I would have picked it up, because I'd be like, hey, you're stealing chips on the first damn place, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but it didn't. So you end up hitting somebody else. So guess what happened? Tavares Durham has got a blessing due to the simple fact that his brother, Jamel Mobley, did what he did. And it seems like Safar Matzak is the one that has caused it. One man's trash is another man's treasure, right? Well, again, there's no real winners here. My man got shot. He went through the ordeal, but that's a story he got to tell about how he got the money he gonna end up getting, right? And man, Mars, I got to learn the hard way on the red. You can't, you know what I'm saying, pulling that gun. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot to think about when you pulling that damn trigger. They ain't just pulling that motherfucking trigger. The situation better be right if you think you're gonna defend yourself. Because again, it's all right. You got the card to carry and all this other stuff. But the minute you pull that trigger, everything better match up. If not, you know what I'm saying? Ask him after he get done with this bid he finna do. So again, this is Black Minds News. I want to thank everybody for listening to this show today. Before you get up out of here, you know what you want to do. Do what you got to do, and so you can show your participation in helping the show to grow. Hit that like button on that other good stuff. And again, to the next show, again, see one another. Get that universal nod. What's good, brother? What's good, sister? You understand? We on this in this game by our own selves. We have no alliances, no real true partners. Everybody want to try some figure way how to use us, but now that we trying to say, hey, we're not giving nothing for just a chicken dinner anymore. We're not getting nothing just because the pastor done brought you in here. We say, hey, You want something from us in exchange for fair goods and services. What you got that we gonna give? Till then, to the next show, y'all. Black love, peace, and one.